It's not one paragraph. It's just one sentence. Job description. Do as the master commands. You heard the saying, your wish is my command? I have a friend who said that to me. I know he's joking. Picked me up at the airport. I said, all right, before we go anywhere else, let's go to a restaurant so we can eat, so you can eat. It was midday. So I said, okay, wherever you can suggest, except fast food. Okay? Because I don't like fast food. 60 years old, or whatever, back then it was maybe 50 years old. At 40, I was already maintaining blood pressure. Okay? So he said, no, I'm not going to suggest. You pick where you want to go. I said, well, it doesn't matter to me, just as long as it's not fatty or greasy or no MSG, healthy food. You know what he said? Your wish is my command. He's giving me a, what do you call that? Yeah, like such respect. But I said to him, no, we're just equal. We're just co-workers, co-laborers in the Lord. Don't call me boss. Don't call me bossing. In the Philippines, they call you bossing. No, we're all equal. We're all servants. Amen? It just happens to be that I stand here in front and preach, but it doesn't mean that I am the boss. I work with you. Same level. My vote is only one vote. Remember that. Okay? No one is to dictate. No one is to lord over. Only Jesus is Lord and no one else. Only He is the chief of all the shepherds. The rest of the under shepherds are sheep as well. And thank God we're all sheep, not goats. Amen? Anyone here with those two things sticking out of your head? You? Alright, you better be a sheep, okay? Let's cut that horn. See, if you're a goat, I don't know what kind of dad you have, right? Are you? So if he's not a goat, then you must be a sheep if he's a sheep. Okay. Now the servant moves here from outdoor to indoor, from field to home, right? From hard labor to home life. You see the transition? The fields to fixing food. But it doesn't stop. There seems to be no gap. Don't miss this truth. A servant serves whenever, whoever, or wherever, for whomever, doing whatever it takes. Consistent. We could say it this way. It's not break time yet. It's not recess yet. There's a lot of things to do. We talk a lot about serving, opportunities, ministries in the church, but we're actually to be serving all the time. Serving is not just coming here on Sunday and doing something. Because otherwise, if you quantify your service, it will be just what? 2 hours of being in the church? And that's your service? No. Serving the Lord means everything that you do in life. Whether it be your home, your workplace. Can you serve the Lord in your workplaces? Can you serve the Lord when you're at school? Or when you're talking to a neighbor? Life is all about serving, actually. And if we're not doing it, then we're not living right. Matthew Henry says that we must make the end, quote, the end of one service the beginning of another. When we have been working for God, we must still wait on God continually. That means when you get up, you serve your family. At the end of serving your family, what do you do? Like you prepare your breakfast for your kids, whatever you do, book bags, get ready, bathe them, whatever you do, prepare your kids for school. Then when you're done, what do? You go to your work. That is just the beginning of another. So the end of that particular segment of your service to your family means the beginning of your service to your employer and the management and the company you work for. Understand? And then after that 8 hours of work, what do? You come home, service ends. What do? Cook dinner. Prepare them for bed. It doesn't end. But that's just your personal life. But when you think of serving the Lord, it's like that too. You look at the book of Mark. We talk about the synoptics, of the gospel today. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Different emphasis. Matthew portrayed him as king. Mark portrayed him as what? Servant. Serving servant. Servant. Jesus came to demonstrate to us what real servant is. What real service means. What it looks like. So from right off the bat, right from the get-go, chapter 1, did it start with the genealogy? Did it start with the baptism of Jesus? Did it start with the birth of Jesus? 12 years of, 12 years old, found, having discussions with doctors and lawyers. Did Mark put that in the gospel? Where did it start? Chapter 1. Right away, what? Serving. Already, and from beginning to end, serving. Even before he died, what was he doing before he died? Breaking bread, serving, passing the cup, serving. Just moments later, he would be nailed on the cross. While he hung on the cross, did he serve? He witnessed to the 2 thieves. The centurion, they got saved in front of him dying. Still talking about paradise. Still talking about forgiveness. Amen? Honoring the Father in every way. On his way to Calvary, he honored the Father. He prayed the prayer where there was blood, sweat, and tears that came out while he was in agony. Wow. That's the kind of service that he demonstrated. When you're serving the Lord, notice here that the servant is to spend time preparing and getting himself ready. The master said, get ready, prepare, right? These are good words to help us make sure we are prayed up and studied up and what? Pumped up to serve. You don't come to church serving. You don't do what ministry you do outside serving with a long face. You prepare your heart. You accept your responsibility. You focus on your goal and you do your duty. Fixing your eyes on the Lord. Because if you're serving and you're looking around, just like what he says in another gospel, when you put your hand on the plow, you don't look back. What happens when you look back? What happens when you look around? Then you begin to see others who are not doing the same thing as you're doing. Then you begin to reason out and finding a way out so that you're not to do what you must do. Isn't that a true saying? Right? That if you're willing, then you'll find reasons to do it. But if you're not, then you look for excuses not to do it. So, when you approach the Lord as you serve, you understand that the servant is not expected to sit down, serve himself, cook meal for himself, and then take care of the master last. Where do you put the master? Where do you put him according to Matthew 6:33? Where do you put him according to Proverbs 3, 5, and 6? You have to trust him with all your heart. Don't depend on your own understanding, but this is not the way we do it. Depend on him, trust him, lean on him, and then put him number 1. Colossians says, give him the preeminence. Nothing in between. Give Him the highest place, your top priority. Put Him number one in your life. Is it right to do that?
Yes.
Does He deserve? I mean, that's a no-brainer. D.L. Moody once said, the reward of service is more service. The reward of service is more service. What did Jesus say in relation to this statement? I think that, this statement comes from or stems from what Jesus said about service. If you're faithful in little, God is going to bless you with more. If right now what you do is practice with the choir, sing with the choir, don't be faithful, what else would God do? Give you more. Give you more. Isn't that also the same philosophy like the management, employer-employee, right? Relation and performance base. You get promoted if you just sit around and pass time and kill time. Take eight smoke breaks a day. Go to the bathroom and stay there for half an hour. And sit at the table and on the cell phone for another hour. You're fired. You're not going to get promoted. And that's what Jesus is talking about. You do your job even if that's the least that you can do, but you do it and you're faithful, you're consistent. What will the Master do? Give you more responsibility. Remember what I told you how I started in this church? It's not really like doing adult ministry of helping, like teaching, preaching. I didn't start like that here in this church. I started here as what? A VBS teacher. That's my job, a VBS teacher. I could sit there and think and listen to a preacher and be like, I think I can do a better job. But no. I have to wait on the Lord. And it took months. I came here at the end of June, 88. The church called me November of the same year to start in December of the same year, 88. So I'm going how many years now? I don't know. December of 2018, I'll be 30 years here with you. Then started teaching Bible study. And then for all 4 months of stay here, the pastor gave me 2 opportunities to preach in 4 months. Preached 2 messages. And then I left. I went to Chicago. Weeks later, your dad called me up and said, Pastor Yuli, we want you back here. The pastor resigned. But where did you start? When I first went to my pastorate in Bicol, I didn't start like the pastor. I went there as a student. What did I do? I was assigned to teach what? Guess what? VBS. 4 years of training in the seminary. The senior pastor, Pastor Celso de Guzman, when I came and spent a whole month there, all he asked me to do, teach VBS. I was trained to preach. I was like, yeah, homiletics, expository preaching, principles, hermeneutics. Man, I'm ready. And then he said, no, take care of the kids. That's it. But do it faithfully. Do it faithfully. And the kids invited me to their homes, Bible study. Do it faithfully. Do it faithfully. That Bible study grew into 30 individuals attending, 35,